Well, welcome everybody to Life Beyond the Clouds. It's a new year. I'm really excited to be here, Jen. Thanks. I'm looking forward to this new year. We had an amazing year last year, and I want to thank
Yes,
everybody
we
from the
did.
bottom of my heart, right? What they did for us on following, our YouTube channel, Life Beyond the Clouds. We're getting close to 250,000 views, and it just shows you the reason we're doing this. It's to open your hearts up to what's around you, Jen. That's why I've always wanted to do this, right? It's to let you know I want it to be a safe place that you can come to every day where you just know that there's love and there's hope. I want this to be a place that you do feel safe, that you don't feel judged. And it's about understanding the messages from heaven and teaching you how to understand your own life. We all receive things differently. No matter what we're going through in life, right? Our perception isn't somebody else's. And it's never about saying, I'm not getting a message just because it didn't come through like somebody else's. Your soul is different. Your lesson is different. So you're going to receive a message different, but you are receiving it. So I just want you to know it's not to change your minds. It's not to force you to believe something that you don't. It's about to open your hearts on those days where you just feel like, I don't know what to do and I feel a little lost. It's about saying to you, there's so much help and love from the other side, Jen. That's why we're doing this. I want to be a place where people
Absolutely.
just feel peace and can take a deep breath and let go if they're having a difficult day and understand just because you can't see what's in front of you, because you can't see, heaven or the other ones, that they're there, that they're whispering in your ear, that you're not alone on this journey in life, Jen. It's just so important. I think we need this more than ever. And I just think this is a really good year for this. And the fact that people are following us the way they are, they want this too. And this is what it is. It's about saying you're all special. You all have this inside of you, this built in, sensory from heaven. This is why I'm looking forward to this year. I know we're going to do some changes. There's going to be a few things that we're going to start adding and doing. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to let you go ahead and,
Yeah,
and let people know.
absolutely. So I know we're going to talk about the energy for the year ahead and some of the messages that have been coming through. But before we do any of that, I actually just want to take a moment to talk to you about your journey and like how it all began. How you learn to trust what you receive. Because I don't think messages just come out of nowhere. They come from lived experience, trust, and true connection. So, when did you first realize you were receiving guidance and messages that felt different?
And it's really interesting because, you and I talk personally and privately. I'm not used to ever talking about myself, where it starts. And I think sometimes it's good for people to understand. They see our daily messages that are, positive and about hope, but they don't understand. Sometimes I think they wonder, who am I? Is this just someone that loves to give messages? You know what I mean? Or is there more? And for me, we all have this ability, but for me, I know this was my life path. I know that I came in now. I didn't. It started when I was 9. My mother was sick in the hospital for a long time. We had family members around because my dad was military and out of state. It was just us. But, of course, thank God she's here. But she was in the hospital for a long time. And when I was a little girl, I used to go to bed every night and just want her to come home. Then I would start seeing angels. I would start seeing visions. And they'd say to me, she's going to be okay. She's going to sit up tomorrow. And then my dad would come home and say, your mother sat up for the first time. And then I would have visions of walking these beautiful gardens, right? And for me, I would see Jesus. I would see angels. I don't judge anybody else's journey. It's going to come to you the way it comes to you, right? But I'm not going to hide the way that it came to me. And where they'd say, your mother's going to eat tomorrow. Her eating, I would actually see it. And then he came home and say, she took a bite today, one bite. So this is when I
Right.
just knew, oh my gosh, I was so excited, but I didn't say anything. You just knew that there was something more. And I always wanted to help people. I would always sense energies. I would always feel them. Very big on dreams and visions. But then I see movies in my forehead. I always say that, don't you see that movie in your forehead? I can see somebody riding a bike in my forehead or a big chicken, and I'll say something to a client. Is there something with you with a chicken? And they're like, a big yellow stuffed chicken. And she's like, I have this stuffed chicken, that I keep with me. That was my daughter's. So it's just for me, I see a lot of visions, but oh gosh, Jen, the places and the things I've seen in my life, it even gets into healing. Like I'll get premonitions that, someone will need me to heal them, right? I'll hear voices saying there's someone I need you to heal them. And then, the next day I'll find out, that that's the case. And, then I'll put my hands on them. Listen, I'm not saying this happens all the time. God uses all of us at moments, right? And then, I'll put my hands on them and, then every night I'll keep praying for them. Then it goes away and I'll get another dream that stop worrying about her. It's a virus. It's gone. And then she calls me the next day when she went to get the biopsy and they said, they don't know what happened. It was just a virus. It's gone. This is the world that I've lived in my whole life. And I try so much in 30-second clips. It's not easy, right? When you're trying to reach people because you know how the internet is in the world. It's not my world. You know that. I'm not a fan of it. You know what I mean? And I do the best I can. I'm not perfect at it. I'll admit that. I'm not perfect. I'm not really clever, but I'm sincere and I'm honest. I'm going to tell you what I know to be true and I want to help you. You know what I mean? But I'm not good at like great one liners or, for me, it's always come from the heart. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
about just saying, you have this in you too. Don't ever give up. On your worst day, on that day you didn't think you were going to make it through, here you are today. Right? So if you're having one of those days again, you know what I mean? You're gonna get through it. And it's about knowing and me seeing, Jen, angels and seeing visions and angels where I'll be in heaven and seeing thousands of souls coming towards me. I'll see them. And then, having an angel and I'll say, how can I heal all of them? And she'll say, we're helping you. We're gonna help you. Oh, it's just this has been my whole life's journey that for me, I get so excited, but I have to do it in a way where it makes sense for people. I don't want people to be scared or afraid of it because there's a lot of negative connotations with this. You see a lot of stuff where people are like, turn around 10 times, call it the moon, hold this crystal, laugh about it, but it's out there.
No, it's true.
It's just something that's within all of us. And I always just hope to everyone when they hear my messages that they're understanding that I truly do care. You know what I mean? That it's more than just the message that it's about you can do this. If you would just take a moment and they don't come to you when you force them. People have to understand that. I'll have people message me and say, I got mad at my loved ones. I'm mad at them. I yelled at them. I'm telling them. And I always just say they don't come to you like that. They
Yeah.
come to you when you're calm because you can't get
Yeah,
through
love
any.
and light.
Yes, but when it's like anything, it's like a closet full of clothes. If you keep cramming more in there and more in there, you're never going to find that shirt you're really looking for. You got to clear out stuff so you can see. And that's really what it is with the divine. They're just love. They're not going to test you. They're not going to taunt you. They're not going to scare you, but they're going to whisper in your ear. They're going to have you look a certain way. They're going to just all day long, want to do that. So for me, this is how it comes to me. This is how it's always been. I knew as a child, what I mean, it felt different. I was always the one that, would try to get people your friends not to do things or to see things differently. I always knew, what I mean, that I was had that there was something, but I didn't always know what to do with it. Then I found out as I got older, it ran in, one side of my family, that it ran, in the family. But I just think we come in, not all of us are supposed to use it the way I'm using it, but you better believe you're all receiving it. So I think the main thing for me is you and I, we talk about this, Jen, you're same way. We just want people in a world the way it is today to not I always just say that to you, don't look out, look within. You
Yeah.
don't to look out to everybody else, look within, right? Start with yourself and just say, my divine spiritual team, help me. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And I can talk to them like that too. I don't have a clue what the heck I'm doing here. Right. I just don't. I feel like I do. Sometimes I don't. And it's for everyone. And I'm a human being too. I'm a real person, with a family. And so it's like this for all of us. But oh my God, you got to believe in something. You got to start somewhere. You
Yeah.
just start. You just start.
And do you think that when this did start for you, that you did embrace it immediately? Or was there ever a time where you maybe tried to ignore it, or did you question it?
It's an interesting question. Embraced it, and I loved it so much because it felt normal to me. It felt normal, like you and I talking. It felt good. Like it felt normal. And to not have it would have made me feel worse. It would have made me feel sad or scared. Like to not have this gift now, because I've had it so long, because it's such a beautiful thing, it would scare me. But there was times that, yeah, if I would have told any of my friends that that was the hard thing, I've had people say, well, why didn't you tell me? It's just, how do you say something that you don't really know? Or back when I was growing up, it wasn't something that people talked about, being Catholic, you didn't, you just didn't. Now the church is very open about people with supernatural gifts,
Yeah.
mystics, and but it's not easy to have something, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's so kind of a weird kind of a statement, right? I love it because I know there's so much hope for everyone, but at the same time, I always hope that I'm conveying it the right way to people. But I
Yeah.
can't imagine a life without it. I can't. I can't.
And when do you think you knew, like, this is what you were meant to do? Like, I am going to help people and I just want to put my gift out there.
Such a really interesting question that nobody's ever asked me this before. I honestly think I was a hairdresser for many years, right? And always being around people's energy and touching them. I was always sensing, or I would say to them, I wouldn't say it to them because I wasn't sure how to react. I would just say, you know, I have a grandmother named, Dorothy, and she'd say, "That's my grandmother, Dorothy. That's in heaven. I have a grandmother named Dorothy in heaven." And I was just like, "I know. I'm saying she's telling me her name, so I'm just saying that, And I would just
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I bet she was really loving, and I bet she liked to cook, and I bet she." Do you understand? And she's like, "Oh my god, she loved to do all those things." And they would say, "You know what I mean? I feel like you're talking about my grandmother." You know what I mean? And sometimes I wanted to say, "I am," but at the same time, if I felt like they were open, then I would say, "Well, I do sense and feel these things, and I want you to know, you know what I mean? She's with you." I've always wanted to give it lovingly because I never felt like it was mine to hold on to. So I just or it's like, you and I were talking about being in public. You asked me, do I get things, when I'm around people outside? And I do. And I'd even mentioned before, like there was a concert. My husband liked this guy named John Party, right? So he wanted me to go to this concert with him, and it's noisy. A lot of times I don't like a lot of noise because I feel the energy like crowded rooms. That is something that gets my energy like a little bit what I mean? It's hard for me. I don't like
Yeah.
cities or, like, loud noises, but, I'm there and my husband walked away for a second to go get a drink, and, I'm standing there and I'm just watching this guy, and I'm just kinda trying to drown out the noise, and then all of a sudden, I'm seeing, like, a woman walk on stage next to him, right? And I could just feel a grandmother energy, like, sitting next to him. I kept saying, in my ear, and I'm just like, "I don't know this guy, and I don't know who he is," but she's just like, "I hope he knows I've always been with him. I've seen him get successful." You know what I mean? I know what he's doing. I want him to know how proud I am of him, that I've never left him. You know what I mean? That like I see what he did as if that was important to him. Like he'd always wondered if she knew. So it doesn't matter for me. That doesn't always happen. But if I feel an energy like really strong, you know what I mean? But I'm out in public and I can be behind people in line and what I mean? I'll just want to say to them, "Oh, I love that, ring. My grandmother had one like that, because I'll know it's her grandmother's." And she'll say, "It's my grandmother's ring," and I'm thinking, but it was just enough energy to make her feel the love from her grandmother, So I'm also respectful and mindful about it too. I don't just, what I mean, unless I really, really feel that I'm supposed to. Yeah.
You're right. That you just kind of
Yes.
back off a little bit.
Yes. Yes.
How did you personally learn to trust what you were receiving?
That came from a very young age when I'll go back to when I was 9. The visions that I saw, I've never seen anything that was negative or bad. For me, it was just this light, oh my gosh, and this energy that was beyond anything of this world. It's like trying to describe a rainbow to someone, right? You can describe it, but unless you see it, it was about the visions that I saw of such light and angels and such divinity that I knew that it was just, I couldn't wait to get more. Like sometimes I would get up, like if I didn't have a vision, it's just like, where to go? But see, that's why God doesn't let us live all the time. That's why I always say to people when they'll say to me, this is very important too, for people to understand when they say, I didn't feel my dad today. They're gone. They left me. They're not there. And I would go, no, that's not true. Because you understand you're still here to live. And if we keep seeing heaven all the time, we wouldn't want to be here. That they come to comfort us and to guide us. And that's was something I had to take time with for myself to understand. This is not something you're going to walk around, you understand, and see both sides all the time. We show you this so you can help other people, but you're here to live. You're here to, it's like anything. It's like a surgeon or doctor. You're not going to go operate on everybody that's standing in front of you. You do it when
Right.
it's needed. And that's the best way I can describe that. But I trusted because it was so beautiful. There was no way not to trust.
That's great. Well, I'm thankful for you for sharing that with everyone because I think sometimes it's hard and this helps people to kind of understand where these messages actually come from. So now I just kind of want to shift into the energy of the year ahead. When you are tuned into this year, how does the energy feel compared to last year?
This year feels very sped up to me. Like there's going to be a lot of things very quickly. This is where when I keep saying the veil's lifted to the other side, that we're in the age of Aquarius where people got to start getting in touch with themselves. I'm telling you, with everything that I'm sensing and feeling, you better start getting more in tune. I don't want to say better. That sounded too, I didn't mean it like that. That sounded, I want people to become for their own self more in tune because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen very quickly. Earth events. I think there's going to be a lot of weather changes this year. And just even what's going on in the world, we can see already how this year is moving fast. Like we're getting too absorbed with the television and the negativity. And it's very frightening for people. People, they're scared what they're seeing. So the best thing you can do is when you turn into your own self, it's like turning your radio up in the car, right? Turn up your dial. We all have one. Sometimes it's not that we ever lost it. Sometimes we just have it turned down. So it's like, think about the music, turn it up. So I think the more you start to reach out to the other side, when you see things that are negative, say to yourself, my divine spiritual team, should I be worried? You know what I mean? Help me on this. Like, this is where you're going to start to feel more peace inside because if we're asking everybody else to make us happy, we're going to be miserable because it's not up to everybody else inside of us what we need, right? Everybody else is already taken. You know what I mean? You are you because this is your life purpose. So when you turn into it and just say, I feel really scared watching this on TV, or should I be worried about this? You will instantly get a sense or a feeling. So I think this year, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come to fruition too. There's going to be a lot of truths, like a lot of things I feel like are going to come out about people and things that might surprise you, whether it's good or bad. And I just think don't ever hero worship anyone. That's our biggest problem, is to put all your faith in
Yeah.
a thing, because they're going to let you down. You know what I mean? You have to trust the higher power they're guiding. So I think this is going to be year of people turning into themselves a lot. And I think that's really important. But I think there's going to be a lot of crazy earth changes. I see some more earthquakes happening in places that, you know what I mean, that don't normally, happen or do. It doesn't mean like I'm seeing, but I just think there's going to be earth changes. But I think this is really a good time because I think people are finally getting fed up with everybody else running their life and they're going back to source. And that makes me really, really happy because that's where you're going to become grounded and you're going to be okay. And no, we're still going to get through everything. I want you to understand that we'll still be here next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're still be here next year. I want people to understand that with everything, I think the love is going to still overcome any negativity because people are going to start to say, you know what? I've got this. I can do this. And that's what I'm really feeling about people on an individual basis, that they're learning to connect with themselves more. And that's what I've always wanted for everyone.
I love that. It feels like a year more of action and healing
Yes.
versus reflection.
Yes.
So for the people feeling a little overwhelmed with what's to come, what may come, how do they shift focus to something else instead of the fear? Like, what can they do? Like, one simple thing people can do to kind of align with this year's energy.
You know what's really interesting? This is going to sound so simple, but when you get in that headspace where, and we all do, right, where we just feel like totally chaotic, and we all have times, the best thing you can do is just stop and take a deep breath. People underestimate, right, because what you do is you go back to source. As soon as you take a breath, it's amazing how just even me doing that, how it just makes your energy, it makes you feel peace. Because then when you do that, you allow the real thoughts to come in. So you have to understand the head was never meant to control our life. It doesn't have the capacity to run your life. Only the soul does. It's the soul that enters the body when you take your first breath, right? It's just like a baby taking their first breath. Think about that. That's the soul entering the body. It's the soul that is running your life. So when you just honestly, you'll just say, help me. It's amazing how just doing something so simple. I don't want people to think they have to do a lot to connect, because you don't, and that's what scares people, to think I'm not sitting in the right chair, I'm not holding the right stone, I'm not humming the. You don't have to do all of that, because it does. It panics people. People will say that to me.
It
I
does.
didn't do this, and I'm saying you don't have to. You don't. Just take the deep breath and just say, I need help. My divine spiritual help me. And when you just sit for a second and allow, it's incredible. It's incredible. It is life changing. I wish everybody would just do that after they hear this video. Just sit and do that and try it.
So, do you have, now I know you said there's going to be some weather changes. Do you have any other predictions for this year that you want people to know about?
I also feel there's going to be something spiritually that people, it's going to be big, that, do you understand? Something spiritual, I feel like, from heaven, whether it's going to be a solar eclipse out of the blue. Do you understand? There's going to be something in the sky. I keep feeling like there's going to be something from the sky. I keep hearing, like, pay attention to the sky, pay attention to the sky, is what I keep hearing, that it's going to make people just say, it's going to bring people peace. I feel like it's going to be, oh, like, do you understand? It's like, we're
Yeah.
here, we see you, you're not alone. And it's like people are gonna know, like, they're gonna know, they're gonna get downloads, like, they're just going to know internally. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be, pay attention to this, pay attention to this. And that's just what I know I'm not a Pollyanna, right? I know people say, well, there's bad things, and there is, but you wanna know what? A lot of other people can concentrate on that. And I don't work on a fear-based thing. It's just like, yes, in the other realm, is there things that aren't good? Of course there is. It's just like we have prisons with people that do things that hurt people on the physical earth. There are those things, but that's not where my angels have put my gift. That's not where my gift is. There's other people that, what I mean, and God bless them, that do that. And thank God for them, right? Everybody's gift is different. Mine is, it's like an awakening. It's like I just keep saying, turn the radio back up. Turn it up. You have never turned it off. Just turn it back up. So I just think for me, there's going to be, and you and I will talk. I just believe we'll talk about when it happens. It says, oh my goodness, like, that's what I'm saying is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I am excited about this upcoming year,
Me too.
for us and like Beyond the Clouds because we have some new things coming.
Yes.
So we'll be making some announcements soon. There'll be like a little subscription thing, and we're looking into doing more group events
Mhm.
throughout the year. So just stay tuned and look for those posts. And I wanted to talk about really quick before we get off is one of the things that I see that comes up a lot. People are asking about how do they book with you? And I wanted to just let people know they can go to Spiritual Messenger website, and I will list everything here below on the sites. But on Instagram, there is right on your page, there's a book now button that they can click on, and it'll take them right to the Spiritual Messenger page. On your Facebook, they can click on your spiritual messenger link and it takes them
Amazing.
right to your link as well. So I've tried to make it very simple for people to do that. I know you book up quick, and that is a big thing that, people are like, oh, do you have a cancellation list? We don't have a cancellation list right now. Most people do not cancel their appointment. So, I just recommend if you do want a personal reading with Renee, you go onto the website, book it out. She added new spots for Thursday FaceTime reads.
Yes.
So I just think that's the best way to do it. And again, I will list those links in the caption of this video. So it'll be very easy for you to be able to book a session. But
You're amazing at
I,
that. You are. I couldn't do any of this without you. We are a team. And Jen, in closing, just I just wanna talk to everybody for a second. I want all of you to
yeah,
understand that what we do isn't about trying to convince anybody. It's about reawakening you to what you have. This is the reason that we do this every single day. All of you came into this physical earth with everything that you need. You are incredible. You are so special. You were created by God individually. So you have a purpose and a reason for being here. And this is why, again, that we're doing this. This is about just to show you and to remind you of who you are. This is why every day we kind of keep the videos the same. Sometimes we like to change them up a little bit, but basically the heart of this is about, I know you get scared out there. I know people are worried and people get scared and people have a lot of pain and people are missing loved ones and they just feel alone or they have relationships or jobs and they have health issues and they go through so much on a daily basis. But we want all of you to reconnect to who you are because you're not alone in this. Just understand this is the only reason that we're doing this is to help all of you because you're so amazing. And we thank you for all of your support because honestly, we did not ever think that we'd be at a 250,000 views almost, at this point. So it just shows you that love is always going to run deeper and greater than any kind of hate. So just always on your worst day, just understand you are loved. And I thank you. We thank all of you from the bottom of our heart.
thank you. Yep. We'll see you next time.
See you, Jen. Bye.